makeup brush. I'm starting to look like a cheap... Oh. Hey, dolls, it's me, Wilma Fingerdoo, with the Fingerdoo review of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 14, Episode 14, the penultimate episode of one of the longest seasons of Drag Race history. So, if that's not a light at the end of the tunnel we're seeing, then leave me. Tell my tale. I don't want to go on. But before we get into it, as you may or may not know, it was someone's birthday last week, and I just want to send a shout out to all you dolls who sent me a birthday tipperdoo. Brace yourself. There's more than a few, is all I'm saying. Anonymity, an adequate channel, Fetus, Scott, aka Blue Friend 62, Blake Henderson, Heather Sculpted Leather. How are you, Heather? Poke Casual, Ashraf Khan, Owen Hartstein, or is it Steen? Seattle Knight, R. Mendez, Spirit Whisperer, Eric, and Rex Trek, who all sent me tipperdoos on YouTube during my live Q&A. Thanks to all of you who tuned in to the live, whether you tipped or not. It was so much fun, and I think I'm going to do another one in May. Shut your face. I also got some actual tipperdoos via PayPal from Shane Connors, aka Swim Buns. Robert and Andrew sent some love. Thank you, boys. James Montgomery, who was sorry to miss the live Q&A, but James is recovering from surgery, and I hope you're doing well, James, seriously. Norman McFall, Stephanie Santuanaparp, Stefan Paulette, Sean Smith, Miranda Kirkness, and her beautiful son, Zachary. Hi, Zachary, from your Auntie Wilma. Bobby Dorrance, and of course, my tipperdoo boyfriend, Vito. Thank you for all of your love and support. I couldn't do this channel without you. I also want to thank the beautiful and talented Julie Bott and the wonderfully gorgeous Desiree Guerrero, who also sent me tipperdoos, but they did it through my link tree on my Instagram. Thank you all for remembering me on my birthday. You really helped make it a fabulous day. Seriously. If you would like to help support this channel with a tipperdoo, or by joining the Fingerdoo family on Patreon, or by buying some fabulous Wilma merch on my Redbubble page, well, the links for all of that are down below. Speaking of Redbubble, I also have a Redbubble model to show off. Look at that sexy mama. This is Chloe Demure, aka Save the Victory Roll on YouTube and Instagram, modeling one of my favorite Denise Jeannot designs, the Kiss Me, or Kiss of the Fingerdoo, or the Spider-Doo. I can't remember what we call it. I think it's Kiss of the Fingerdoo. You look gorgeous, Chloe. Seriously, I have a link to Zoe's channel down in my description box. You guys should check her out. She's an absolute doll. And a Canadian. Mwah! And finally, I want to send a shout out to British indie makeup brand Artitude. I recently ordered their brand new Split It graphic liner palette and was thrilled that the owner, Rex, threw in a few little goodies. I'm sure she didn't even do it because it was my birthday. I don't think she even knew. Namely, she threw in 3 liner brushes and a pair of false lashes. Seriously, I have been in love with Artitude Cosmetics since I bought their first palette, or at least it was the first one for me, Color Splash. And I do want to make a point of saying, I'm not on their PR list. I bought these products on my own with my own money because, well, I really like this company. And one of the things that's the best about it is their shipping. For a small company, they are on top of it. Seriously, Beauty Bay should take note. Anyway, as I said, their link is down below. I think you would like this company too, so check them out. Okay, on to the important things. Jorge, drink me! Oh. Where's the pink pucker? Oh, we ran out of pink lemonade. Well, there you go. Yummo. So it's tequila and Coke Zero. I love it. Thank you, Jorge. Seriously. Okay, now let's get to it. We started this episode off with the queens still coming to terms with the double sachet and having to say goodbye to 2 queens. Dia was beyond relieved to have beaten both Deja, who sent her home in week 2, and Georges, the undisputed lip sync assassin of season 14. Bosco had one of the best karma's a bitch moments, eh? Going from everyone's choice to go home to winning last week's challenge? Well done, Bosco, seriously. The next day in the workroom, as the queens were giving themselves a much-needed pat on the back for making top 5, Rue arrived with some weird melodramatic comments that, well, went nowhere before announcing this week's Maxi Challenge. The queens would be performing to Ru's single Catwalk in the style of George Michael's Ode to the Supermodel. Do you remember his video, Too Funky? If you don't, we can't be friends. Just say. The queens would have to write their own verse, design a look that thankfully someone else would be making, and participate in the iconic Tic Tac lunch with Ru and Michelle. Bosco went first. This was a good chat. They laughed, they bonded, and Bosco was able to articulate that, as proud of herself as she is to make it this far. Her goal from day one was to win that crown. So there's still a fire burning for Bosco. Is that what I'm smelling? That better be what I'm smelling. Daya was next, and right out of the gate she admitted to Ru and Michelle that she saw herself making it to this point. Ru, on the other hand, told Daya that she did not, but that was down to her looking so much like her drag mom. But Ru also pointed out that Daya's come through that and while managing her diabetes. All in all, this was also a good conversation. Seriously, here's to them. Daya and Bosco, well done. Angie was next, and I was shocked to hear that she's a drag mother to 8 queens. Well, that explains how she's been able to navigate through all the noise this season. Angie also revealed how involved her family is in her drag and drag race. That's what happens when you're surrounded by love. Seriously. Here's to Angie. Next for lunch was Ru's second favorite, Willow Pill. This was an emotional lunch, to be sure, because Willow talked about her cystinosis, her own mortality, and the lessons she's learned to live a full and happy life regardless of her prognosis. Here's the Willow Pill! Seriously, such a fighter. Elsie was next. Ru complimented her trajectory in the competition, but Lady Camden also talked about how her older brother's suicide affected her life and was a big reason she moved out of Britain. There are obviously a lot of issues there for Camden, but she seemed to be taking it all one day at a time. Can't do more than that. There's the Lady Camden, bless her heart. The next day, when the queens entered the workroom, they were greeted with their outfits for the video that they designed. As happy as the queens were with their outfits, there were a lot of opinions about each other's flying around. Of course there was. Now, this would have been a good moment for a reading challenge, is all I'm saying. But there was no time for that as the queens arrived on set to rehearse the choreography to Catwalk with Michelle Visage and Miguel Zarate. And Michelle wasn't kidding about how fast and complicated that choreo was. Even though they went through it a bunch of times, Angie had issues, bless her heart. And being the only one who did wasn't helping her stay focused. What also didn't help was the fact that after only a few run-throughs with Miguel, the queens were actually going to film the video right then and there. No pauses, no breaks, no moment to let it sink in. It was 5, 6, 7, 8 time. Seriously. I thought Bosco did a great job serving up the supermodel vibes, but no matter how she sold it, all Willow Pill saw was an intergalactic mom picking her kids up from school. Okay, I see it now. Willow served all kinds of face, including her own profile on her bodice, but Bosco felt there was a disconnect between Willow's face and the rest of her. Well, Willow did call Bosco a mom. Lady Camden killed it, even though Daya thought she looked like the Lady Gremlin. Is that a new car? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We've all seen Gremlins, haven't we? For all her worries, Angeria killed her performance by serving face, even though she, well, really didn't have all the choreo down. Michelle hinted more than a couple of times that she should try crawling, but when her turn was done, Angie hadn't gotten down on all fours once. Thinking Angie had dropped the ball, Daya got right down to crawling in that Betty Page-inspired look, and she killed it. There was nothing about this I didn't like. Seriously. And that wig! Oh, it's everything! And then it was time for the main stage. I didn't hate Ru's runway, but I wasn't a fan of it. I wish it was made out of one fabric, because I felt that the top and then the bottom patterns clashed when they were together. Just me? Michelle looked marvelous in maroon. Carson was extra glittery, while Ross wasn't glittery at all. I think he was too busy trying to look like Cindy Crawford. Got something right there. Category is, you're a winner, baby. Bosco's Nude Marilyn was definitely a winner. I also love the touch of color in the gloves and that detachable overskirt. Clearly, this was a Fingerdoo for me. I liked Angie's look, but it didn't say winner to me. It said widow. Still, she wore it well, so I gave her a Fingerdoo. Daya's deconstructed gown was stunning. I love how she turned the burn details into a pattern. I love that she put the bustle on her hip. This was a total Fingerdoo for me. Well done to Daya. Seriously, look at her fashioning it up. LC's Ice Princess screamed winner. She was beyond breathtaking, which is why I gave her a Fingerdoo. Seriously. As cute as Willow's look was, it didn't say winner. It said vermin. She looked cute, but this look just didn't fit the brief for me. I don't think this was the runway for Willow to be taking a chance on, so I had to give her a Fingerdoo, bless her heart. And then it was time to watch Catwalk. All in all, I love this video. It totally blew my previous favorite, Sissy That Walk, out of the water. I'm so serious. Everyone did really well, and the edits definitely helped Angie's choreography. You'd never know she had trouble. Bosco's lyrics were one of my faves, and I loved how the queens recreated some of their previous runway looks for this video. But I have to say, the standout for me was Daya Betty. I don't know if it's because she was the only one who crawled, but she just ate up that camera. Her face, her look, that wig, I couldn't take my eyes off her. Which I know will be a polarizing opinion because there aren't a lot of you out there that like her. I'm just saying. I've heard the names you call her. Then it was critique time. Bosco was first, and Carson loved her runway ensemble. Ross loved her performance in the music video, but agreed with Willow that Bosco's look could have been edgier. Of course, Bosco wouldn't have been there if she hadn't had the golden rhubarb, and, well, the judges all seemed thrilled that she did. Then why bring it up? Angie was next, and although Michelle loved her runway, she wasn't impressed with her design for the video. It was still a bodysuit at the end of the day. Daya was a clear fave of the judges and a clear shoo-in for top 4. From her unique runway to her look in the video, Rue even said she couldn't keep her eyes off of her. See? I told you. Michelle was impressed that Daya heard Michelle say crawl, and she did. Well done, Daya. Seriously. When they say crawl, you say hello. Lady Camden was another fave. Ross couldn't get enough of her runway, and Michelle was impressed with how well she learned the choreo for the video. Well, she's a dancer. She better learn it. Willow was a clear fave as well. Carson was impressed with her quirky nuances, which I like because Quirky Nuances was the name of my new fringe play. Michelle went out on a limb and complimented Willow's runway. I was surprised. Were you surprised? Seriously. And as much as Ross liked her in the video, he felt there was a disconnect with her face as she was performing. Maybe she was just trying to keep count. Then Rue whipped out some pictures. Ugh, I hate the pictures. Everyone said more or less what you'd think someone would say to their younger selves on TV. Some of the standouts were Bosco telling her younger self to hug her mom more because you never know how long you've got. That's good advice right there. And, of course, Willow's words of wisdom to her younger self. Seriously, there were some good moments. Okay, I'll give you 2. I'm just saying. And then the queens headed back to their last Untucked Lounge of the season. It was a very supportive moment for everyone that was fun and full of tears. What can I say? It was a rich tapestry. I'm not going to go into it here. If you want to watch it, go ahead. But I don't feel that the Untucked episode would have hurt or helped the main episode. So do what you will there. Back on the main stage, Rue announced that this week's winner was Lady Camden. Not that she didn't deserve it, but I was shocked that Daya didn't win. Just me? In the bottom 3 were Bosco, Angeria, and Willow. I don't think it was a shock that Bosco was safe, but it was a shock to realize that Angie and Willow were up against each other in the lip sync. I'm so serious. The song they had to lip sync to was Telephone by La Gaga and Beyonce. And regardless of the pressure of the situation, these queens did not hold back. Both queens had so much fun that they ended up doing a duet. It was a fabulous performance all around. So when Ru announced that Angeria chanted, my heart broke for Willow. And then, surprise, surprise, Ru told Willow to chante as well. It was a double chante. It's top 5. What do you think? Are you upset that it's not top 4 at this point of the season? Are you surprised? If it were down to you, who would you have sent home to make it a top 4? Who is your pick to win the whole Megillah? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And while you're down there, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And feel free to share this video with anyone you think is as big a Drag Race fan as we are. Until next time, miss me! Mwah! Seriously. I don't know who I would pick to win. I really see Bosco with 3 wins being an option. Lady Camden with 3 wins now is another option. And I have to say, of the 2 of them, I'd rather see Lady Camden win, only because I think she started so meekly this season. And as she's been going, it's becoming more and more obvious what a talent she is. Willow Pill could win too. She's so quirky and interesting, and I wouldn't have a problem with her winning at all. Diabetti, I have to say, I would love to see Diabetti win, but I think, you know, with only 1 win and just a little too little too late. Do you know what I mean? I think that having her be so good these last 2 episodes isn't really enough to keep her in the running for the crown, I hate to say. But then I'm also going to say that about Angeria. I don't think Angeria is as strong a performer as she started out. So there you go. I think it's down between Bosco, LC, and Willow. You want to bet? See who's it? No? What do you mean I don't pay you enough?